Hey everybody, it is Justin, your guide into the other side. So today we're gonna go over the huge other side blog post on the development and progress for where other side is going this year. So we have this update by Eric Reid, and then we're also going to go over Journey. Journey Crypto's response. He's a pretty big entity within other side, and his thoughts as well, just to bounce off of things. So why don't we get started with the update? Let's read it straight up. So this is the other side blog post from February 21st. So just yesterday. Good morning. It's been a challenging 6 months for us at Other Side. Building the platform and refining our long-term vision has been challenging, right? So is navigating high expectations, the need for speed, and maintaining flexibility to pivot when necessary. So I know we've been pretty quiet between our public playtests in LA, Berlin, and Hong Kong, but repeating we're building the plan didn't seem like new information to share, right? And I've been reluctant to say anything that would raise questions that we could not answer, right? So of course, I see that people are skeptical, if not downright pissed, from the lack of regular information on other side, especially those who are emotionally invested in other side's success, right? So there is a balancing act here, and this issue of balance is a slide right up front in our internal other side planning deck. So the balance essentially is building the foundation for other side, along with, allocating that time for rapid release and iteration. So let's just break it down. So building foundation is what we have been doing and what we will focus heavily on in this year. So 2024 is about building foundations. This means some work is going to sound pretty dull. Like, for example, other side accounts with Wallet Connect, optimizing the existing environments to run at scale, and setting parameters for the next environments, optimizing the apes and Meebits and other avatars to be better capable of better movement and expressive animation and relentless work on infrastructure. So, what's the big deal about that? Well, it's pretty awesome. It means that you can now set up a single other side account and identity with access to your NFTs and wallets, and that account will be persistent across everything you do on other side, including earning badges, loot, social influence, and so much more, right? It means you'll be able to play in environments and use avatars which are AAA quality, unlike any of the other stuff that exists in metaverses today. And it means in time you will be able to play anytime, anywhere, and with thousands of friends across the world. So yeah, it's a big deal in just a few short months. So on the other half, there is rapid iteration or rapid release and iteration, right? So that means getting features out, doing it as quickly as we responsibly can, and not holding up for polish when we don't have to, right? We get it out in front of users and get constructive feedback, make changes, get it back out, and so on. That's Voyager's journey. It's the fun part for you. It's the fun part for you, and the important feedback part for us. You see and experience other side as we build, and you directly influence and shape what the platform becomes. So this is what many are asking loudly for. But if we do this without a sufficient platform foundation, then these releases will just be one-offs and not connected to the larger development, right? That's the balancing piece. So where does this month's Apes Come Home fit in? It's not a third trip. It's not a polished, launchable public product. It's another milestone in the journey to become the place where content creators, communities, and brands will come together. It's the first time all 10,000 apes will have the ability to be played by their holders on the other side platform. And it's also the first time the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutants, Other Deed holders, Codas, and the Grailed are able to create their official other side accounts and start down the road of more experiences. So hosting thousands of concurrent players on the Bored Ape Yacht Club Island is going to be fun and exciting, but it's still far from a product, right? It's still one experience which is meant to engage you and enlighten us, and we hope to learn from Apes Come Home with the last few playtests, but we are also rapidly moving forward to other parts of Other Side. Very interesting sentence there, right? So where are we going from here in the near term? So, where does this mean? What does this mean for our communities? In the near term, it means building something like Other Side is measured in years, not weeks, months, right? So everyone has to accept that objective reality. But that doesn't mean we aren't experimenting, launching, playing, and iterating with all of you and the broader public along the way. So I do want to stop here. I want to pause and say that things like I know this is an apples and oranges comparison, but game development takes a long time, right? I mean, GTA 6 started development back in, I think, 2014. Either way, it was a long time ago, right? In the grand scale of things. So, I'm sure, Fortnite and Roblox took a long time to incubate as well. And just keep in mind, we are very early. I know that's a meme in Web3, but it is very, very early. Okay. So what is next? So next, we are working on Meebits 1.3 for this spring. So that's an interesting example. It's going to be an event for Meebits on Metropolis, but it's also going to include some other special guests and some new experimentation in what creators can do on Otherside. It's our hope that with this experiment starts to demonstrate the incredible power of Otherside for artists. Artists, interesting. So with Proof, Moonbirds, and of course the Punks, there are so many people with so much creativity to share. Ooh, that might be a hint. So I view it as our privilege to work with them and expand their horizons for on Otherside, right? Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me keep moving on. So we are also well underway in building the entire 10,000 unique Coda collections in 3D. It's extremely complicated and labor intensive, but these first inhabitants of Otherside, these magical beings with their unique narratives, are looking pretty killer. So we'll share in-work progress with them over the next coming months, but here's a personal favorite in process. And of course, it's Eric Reid's Mecha Coda. Holy moly. Okay. Looks very gives me Tron vibes, but let's keep moving on. So in addition to Codas, we're also working on enabling other collections from Yugas and others to come into Otherside, right? So some of these will be newly modeled and rendered as 3D avatars, and we're developing a configurable Voyager 2.0, which will have progression, metagame, and user-generated content aspects to empower a broader audience to engage on Otherside and embrace their individuality. Interesting. So I'm going to pause right here and drink my orange juice because this is a long... I'm not used to reading. This is a big post. So we know that the core place for individuality on Otherside, beyond the avatars and characters, is the other deeds itself. So we're going to be talking about other deeds right now. So we're working on them, and we'll experiment with our progress together with all of the other deed holders later this year. Interesting. So we think we've broken through a path to accelerating other deeds, and we'll share as we get further into it. So keeping things clear, I think it's important we take a beat and also clarify what we are not doing for now on Otherside, right? We're not making a competitive MMO that takes many years, many tens of millions of dollars, and has enormous risks, right? So there are AAA game companies that have thousands of employees working on these and other projects, and that red ocean isn't one we want to swim in. So I know this was all over the timeline yesterday. We'll kind of go over it just a moment, but why don't we just keep blasting through this? So we also recognize that building a system in which anyone can jump into our code base or build a complex game on the platform is a multi-year daunting proposition, right? So, however, we are going to enable users to take advantage of character and environment customizations and engage in user-generated content this year. So I think that probably refers to the Faraway Shop. And then, further, we are going to enable users to customize casual games, and we have a path to build a system empowering trusted developers to develop games for Otherside, right? So this means you can eventually get a game built, right? So we're trying to get this out with one developer now to launch our first games later this year. Interesting. So while we are building these user-generated content and similar tools, what we are really hearing from the community is a strong desire to have more meaningful social interactions, right? They want to connect, I can't read, share, flex, and have fun as a community. So we're going deep in evolving a social platform to enable our communities to have new ways to engage with each other, right? So we're going to start trying it all out with you, during the coming months, starting with Apes Come Home. So also, last thing, I recognize that we can substantially improve our communications and engagements with our communities, right? Right after Apes Come Home, this month, we are launching new communication commitments, right? So, okay, let's break it down. So, first thing is regular content, right? Communications from me and others on the team, tech and feature demos of work in process, and more. So, we're going to discuss frequent dev updates from Otherside on X, and then monthly blog posts on Yuga News, and then a number of times throughout the year doing video live streams and updates, with the Otherside team. So I hope this benefits everybody going forward. So amidst leadership changes at Yuga, I remain entirely committed to building Otherside more than ever. So over the past years, I've spent thousands of day and night hours obsessing over every iteration of building a metaverse that truly serves communities and creators. So it's been and remains my passion, as well as my obsession, and I have the privilege of collaborating with phenomenal people who share this dream. The team at Yuga and the communities of you. So I believe we'll succeed together. So let's just wrap this up. I also wanted to cover the context from, this was added context as well. So from the tweet. So I see the comments about an MMO, and I spoke too loosely. The definitions are causing confusion. So we are making an MMO. Specifically, we are incorporating the fundamental quality of an MMO with Otherside, aka shared experiences for many thousands of people in a persistent world. That is just one side of what we are building, but the critical thing here is our path to developing Otherside. We need to get the foundations and early experiences up for everybody first, including games, and then we'll evolve that into something bigger. So we have and are spending many tens of millions of dollars on Otherside, but rather than sinking those into a single unproven game loop, we are building the platform and iterative experiences first to make sure we end up with something people want for years and incorporates the benefits of Web3. So we're not scaling back, we are expanding. So I know it was a big post. Basically more comms, we have some comm commitments here that we're going to get from the blog post, as well as stuff on the timeline. And then of course, keeping things clear, this year, 2024 is just about, building that foundation and social interaction. They are working on codas and making sure that we have experiences like Metropolis, stuff with other deeds as well. But, just kind of recap everything, pretty simple. There is a big balance when, when Otherside comes out. It's going to be a long journey, guys. So, well, speaking of journey, let's break it down into the next topic I want to talk about, and that was JRNYcrypto's update article going over the recent Otherside updates and thoughts on no MMORPG, use case for resources and artifacts, and a few big suggestions that could be really be game changing and overall opinion on the platform. So let's take a look and break into this article. So JRNYcrypto on Otherside updates and future resources and artifacts use case. So I saw some concern over Otherside resources and artifacts, and I believe they do need to give us more clarity on this, especially because it's not part of Legends of the Mara yet, right? But since I've accumulated an empire of resource-rich other deeds, right? He has a lot, a certain percentage, right? I thought I could give you all some insight to my thinking around these things and why I'm not fazed by the announcement today. To me, the announcement was basically restating a lot of what was already known, but let's go over the MMORPG stuff. So I never thought an MMORPG was a priority to Yuga. And Journey, he says he expected the platform to launch as an open world where developers could create and users could consume and enjoy, right? So a different experience on every deed you visit and a plethora of things you could do in between, right? From someone who played many MMORPGs throughout my life, this is a good move, and I'm glad their focus is on what I accumulated for this entire time. I can do an entire 30-minute video talking about this part alone, but to keep it short, the masses don't care about an MMORPG, and only a select few will actually make it, and even those games constantly struggle to keep players happy. So as someone who loves a good MMORPG, I would absolutely love an Otherside MMORPG if done right. I'm saying MMORPG a lot. So, but as someone who holds Yuga NFTs and building a business with a big focus on metaverse, I can confidently say this is the better path for everybody. So now let's talk about other resources and artifacts. The general concern I saw about resources and artifacts was that without an MMORPG, there will be little to no use case for resources and artifacts, and while that would definitely add to use case, I primarily accumulated resources with the idea that they would primarily be used for building out and maintaining your land. So quote here, more resources equals better user experience and cooler builds. Better destination and user experiences equals more traffic and revenue, right? From the article today, and I quote, we are going to enable users to take advantage of character environment customizations and engage with user-generated content this year, right? So both characters and environment customizations are huge use cases for resources and artifacts and will likely be much more engaging than the average crypto NFT degen than sinking 50 days playtime leveling a character to just do another 10 to 30 hours per week of raiding and PvP to get competitive loot. So, as someone that has been active in Legends of the Mara, I've seen how few people that hold Yuga NFTs care about games. A very high percentage of other deed holders aren't even participating in the game, even though it's fairly simple and has easy to learn rewards that are necessary for advancing in Otherside, such as loot, ship parts, even the sediment fragments. And then there are a number of random ideas I could come up for resources and artifacts off the top of my head, and Yuga has some great minds that have been working on this for over 2 years. I'm sure they have some really strong use cases for resources and artifacts that will come into play later this year and through Legends of the Mara, and allow holders to start customizing their land. So here we also have some suggestions from Journey. So there are a couple of things I would like to see Yuga and the ApeCoin DAO do that are fairly simple to implement, but would be massive wins for the entire ecosystem. Excuse me. So, game scholarships. With the extremely low percent of NFT holders that are participating in these games, there needs to be a system that will allow NFT holders to outsource this gameplay to those who do not have the time and want the side income. This allows the holder to pay someone else to manage their assets and ensure they get rewards and continue growing. Many people, including myself, have already paid others to manage some of their gameplay for them, and it's time consuming and risky for the user to seek this on their own. If you create an official platform where NFT holders can safely and quickly outsource some of the gameplay, this could create utility for ApeCoin and give users a way to continue progressing with their NFTs when they don't have the time or interest. So it will also bring thousands of new players into the ecosystem. This was game-changing for the entire Axie ecosystem when they introduced it. So, second thing here, Other Deeds and Coda Ape staking pools. So, why is it that the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Mutant Apes, and the Kennel Club have staking pools, but Other Deeds and Codas do not? So, Other Deeds were the most expensive and biggest mint Yuga will ever do, yet it has had the least utility and value out of anything in the ecosystem. So, Otherside and Legends of the Mara will always be the main utility for ApeCoin. So it would make sense to have staking pools for Other Deeds and Codas. So the better Otherside and these collections do, the more ape users will spend. So the holders and builders of Otherside are the future of ApeCoin. So this could also effectively take another 50 million plus of ApeCoin out of circulation. So again, we'll have to see how this math pairs out, because I will be putting together an AIP to introduce Other Deeds and Coda staking pools on ApeChain. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, if anyone's interested in helping with this, please feel free to DM me on X or open a support ticket in the Discord. So, conclusion, there's still massive potential within Otherside, but it's probably going to take longer than we would hope, right? So, things appear to be moving in the right direction, and I'm excited for the future of this ecosystem and everything to come, right? And we are still planning to build out the best user experience for Journey Club members and developing tools for Otherside. If you want to learn more about our plans with Otherside, I recommend checking out a recent post below. So he also has a post here about the fragments, and then there's also the AIR Pro. I can't say AIUR AR Pro. Air Pro? Anyways, I'll have to get corrected on that later. But that's essentially the end of the tweet. It kind of has, generally still seeing things move in the right direction, especially with regards to building foundation. That's what they have to do at the very beginning. Appeal to as many people as possible. So again, that is the balance between, it is what is outlined inside of the blog post. So again, dang, long post. This is a longer video today, guys, but hopefully it stuck throughout. And I hope this was interesting to you, and I hope it was insightful. But anyways, if you guys like this content, I know it was a bit of a reading video, not the most exciting. A lot about development, a lot about balance and iteration. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have all the links in the description. Hit that like and subscribe button. I don't know if I already said that, but you guys know where to find me. Check me out on Twitter or Discord. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.